You ready, Lisa?
Well, the wife
Yep,
said
I'm
the other
ready.
day, she says, "Oh, you have a lot of 10 o'clock meetings." Well, yeah, because I don't have to schedule an 8
I'm ready.
o'clock and a 9 o'clock meeting.
Okay, welcome
Good time for me.
Can you hear me out there? Okay, good. Welcome everybody to the Sarpy County and Cities Wastewater Agency meeting. Today is Wednesday, February 25th. It's 4 o'clock. Copy of the Nebraska Open Meeting Act rules are on the north wall. We'll hold the meeting in accordance with those. Anybody from the public that wants to come forward and address the agency board on any agenda is welcome to do that. Just ask you to come up and make sure you tell Lisa your name and address so we can get it in the record. We've got all 6 agency and governing board members here today, and a bunch of other important people. If you haven't silenced your cell phone, please do so. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any comments from the agency board? Okay, then we'll get right into our staff update, starting with Dan Hoynes, Agency Administrator. Dan, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Member mayors, there's a couple brief things today. With my written submission in the packet that you received Friday, included a couple of things. One of them was a PowerPoint of a draft budget presentation. I did go over that with the administrators preliminarily a couple of days before you got it. There's also in my written report a timeline to go over that budget. That timeline includes at our next meeting, Mark set out, the agency treasurer will be, I guess, formally presenting this to you for discussion purposes in a public realm. So if you have anything between now and then, you have about 30 days to either give us a call or work through your administrator, whatever your preference is, a question on the budget. Mark will come up. Also, project engineer Jeff Thompson. Next month, we'll be talking about the $2 million grant that we got from Congressman Bacon. There's a $2.4 million expense in the budget. We had to do a 20% match for that. And so Jeff will be recommending where he thinks we should best spend that. Spoiler alert, that's putting in a couple lift stations and expanding some capacities to accommodate future installation of either 1B or 2 lines. So Jeff will be talking about the specific details of that. Did yesterday, Mr. Chair, member mayors, the county board did approve the WIFIA loan amendment, a unanimous vote, probably no questions of substance. So today you'll be asked to approve that. If you approve that, that will then complete almost a 2-year process where there's 3 specific things. The primary one is proceed with the design and permitting of the blue and green lines as depicted in our agency master plan. The retention of Midwest right-of-way to help with that design and permitting, and Hawkins construction. So we'll be bringing, assuming that passes today from you, we'll be bringing those contracts up for consideration at the March meeting also, so we can finally get that going. So there's several other things going on, but in the interest of time, I got a couple of other agenda items here, so I'll pause, answer any questions you may have.
Questions or comments for Dan? Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Jeff Thompson, Agency Project Engineer. You got a report, Jeff?
Chairman Kelly, agency member mayors, Jeff Thompson, project engineer for the agency. Not a lot in regards to daily activities for myself, but construction-wise, we have completed the raising of the manholes for the Gotch property. Those pads were poured before the snow hit last week, and they got the bollards poured. They're just in the process of getting those painted. So that work has been completed per the terms of our agreement with those property owners, and hopefully we'll be out of there here this week. So happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions? Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Mark set out with our finances.
Good afternoon, board members. I'm Mark Setout, Agency Treasurer.
This is the Wastewater Agency's monthly financial dashboard report for the period ending January 31, 2026. Last month, I noted the formatting change that we introduced for the first time. Again, we have the current period column data there on the left-hand side, and we also added a line item for the Omaha connection fees to the revenue section of the dashboard. So starting off then with revenues, connection fees. Not much collected during January. Coming out of the holidays, we received $22,638 from Oak Leaf and Papillion. Those are second half payments coming in from building permits. Actual year to date, still significantly higher than budget at 226% of the budget amount. The previous year to date dollars and percentage for connection fees remain higher than our current year numbers. That is from that large amount collected from Meta early in last fiscal year. You can also see that we paid Omaha $330,000 for the connection fees this time last year. If you look all the way over there to the gray column there on the right with the connection fees revenue. That payment is large because it was connection fees owed since the inception of the agency. And our agreement with Omaha stated that we didn't have to pay those fees until the system was operational and flowing. So system went operational in December, and we paid those fees in January of last year. Flow revenue, continuing to track fairly close to our budgeted totals for the year. Fiscal year to date, we're at 57% of the budgeted amount. Nothing for flow revenue for this time frame last year. Not much for other revenue buckets for January, with the exception of the interest income there. We received $11,652 from 5 Points Bank checking. Our actual year-to-date interest income is slightly below budget, but we did receive interest in February from the 5-month CD from 5 Points Bank. That will be shown on next month's dashboard. And that'll help increase our overall numbers for the future months for the interest income. Moving on to expenses. We had $180,000 in expenses for the current period. A good portion of those expenses were recorded in project costs, with the biggest driver there being the $79,600 payment for the Gotch settlement. Our actual year-to-date expenses are still significantly lower than budgeted, coming in at 11% of budget, more than halfway through the fiscal year. Again, that is from less project cost spending as we work through the WIFIA modification process. Net income is currently negative at $167,000 for the year so far, which I think is fairly good, all things considered. We are aware of several planned developments in the works. Past timing shows that we could collect fees on some of those projects before the end of the fiscal year, and that'll push us in a positive direction for net income. Moving on to loan balances. Not much change there. We had about $16,000 for the WIFIA reimbursement in January. Current loan balance is at $91.5 million. And off to the right there is the $750,000 we paid in debt service in December. The other $750,000 is due in June. Pilot funds remain unchanged. We received $1.1 million so far this year, and then $3 million total since agency inception. In cash, we have $7.3 million in the 5 Points Bank checking, and we have rolled over that $2 million CD with 5 Points Bank for another 5 months. The procedure there, at least in the short term, is to keep the $2 million in the interest-bearing account and reevaluate every period, and then bank the interest. Payroll account at Pinnacle Bank just has an operational amount of funds sitting at about $29,000 at the end of the month. That puts our total cash position at $9.3 million for January, slightly down from the previous month. That's all I have for you today. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions for Mark? Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay. That brings us to the consent agenda. We have 3 items on the consent agenda, unless any of the agency members would like to see those move to the regular agenda. Take a motion to approve as published.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Grattan, second by Springfield. Any discussion? Please vote.
Yea, 6, nays none, motion carried.
Okay, on the regular agenda, the first item, number 7, is Resolution 4, which approves the professional services proposal with Catalyst Public Affairs, Dan Hoynes, Agency Administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, member members. Might take a quick mulligan. I missed something in my initial report. All of us are aware and have worked with Adam Charlson, the agency legal counsel. Since Adam has changed firms, he is also now just starting to use some of the associates, the cheaper prom dates, if you will, to help us some. So I'm going to ask Adam if he wants to come up, the associate he's been using, and free billing to come introduce him tonight to the agency. But I'd like Adam to introduce his associate because he's doing some work for us.
Thanks, Dan. We could have saved that for later, but I have Pat Bruce in my office, Sarpy County kid. He started about the same time I did. I just started 22 years before him, but he's just out of school and he's hit the ground running with our team. He's fantastic and looking forward to getting involved more and more on agency stuff. So if you have questions for Pat, fire away.
What law school did he graduate from? Great. Oh, well, we won't hold that against you.
I was on a team.
I'm a Husker boy, so, but that's okay. Creighton's a great school. Welcome. Nice to meet you. Dan, go ahead.
You're not going to make him sing the fight song, Don? Or
Well, I don't even know. Do they have a fight song?
does Creighton have a fight song?
No, I'm a Husker undergrad.
Husker, okay.
There you go.
He's claiming allegiance to both. They're a
You
smart
got it all,
guy,
you
right?
covered all the bases.
You paid attention in law school there. Read the room, huh? And get a moment of levity there. So the specific agenda item here, all of us are very familiar with our careers. I look across the table of ideas here with Tim Gay's work for us. The work Tim does for us is different than it is than certainly you mayors pick up from your lobbyist. Your lobbyist is legislative heavy. The work and the value that Tim has brought to us consistently over 3 years has been one of opening the door to funding revenue, and that's $16.5 million now. It's not as frequent that comes in, but just recently he helped us get the $2 million appropriation, and even more recently he sent us today the congressionally directed spending application forms for the upcoming year, and will be helping us process those and lobby for those coming in. And so I find high value in Tim. Again, not somebody I talk to every month or even during the session, but when we need him, he brings high value. So it's a 1-year contract, same rate, $3,000 per month. Would respectfully ask your approval. Tim, I don't know if you want to say anything or not.
Lisa, can you close that voting screen?
Close the
Can you
what?
close that voting screen?
Oh, sorry.
Absolutely, I would. As Dan says, this is different than a lobbying contract, although we do pay attention to what's going on. There's a couple bills that dealt with sewers and opportunities. So we're looking for opportunities as those come. You've all been around politics long enough to know that things can change very quickly, opportunities or problems. So just that knowledge, hopefully we've been working with you over all the years and passing the bills and all the different things. So we're set. I have been working closely. We just, like Dan said, we just set Congressman Flood's discretionary spending proposal. It's due the 10th. So you got another eyes and ears. Dan probably would have saw that, I'm sure, and Lisa. But to fill it out, get it in. Deb Fisher hasn't set her date yet, but it's going to be the same as last year, the forms, fill them out and go from there. What we want to do is just say, hey, no one's flushing money, but the government's not going broke either, right? There's a lot of spending in D.C. So what we'd like to do is say, hey, besides these discretionary spending accounts, not everybody does. Senator Ricketts does not do it. Congressman Smith does not do it. Who knows what will happen here with Don Bacon leaving, whether whoever gets elected, whether they will continue the practice or not. Either way, you get the point. But What we want to do is find something more like sticky or tangible with opportunities that could be out in DC. So I proposed to Dan, and I know several of you looked at our proposal. It's like, we'd like to do that because then it's more like, hey, we're just not catching you when you come back. You know, here's what we want to do. So I don't know, can't stand here right now and say exactly what that would be. But once we slow down the legislature, which is we'll slow down in a month, just kind of take a harder look at that, maybe go out and later in the summer or fall or something like that, talk to some different EPA or whoever it may be, but kind of just look at those. I got a great support staff. Taylor Gold is got a doctorate in political science, and the kid is a great researcher. So he's out going, looking around and kind of bringing me different ideas all the time. Of course, we'd have to run by Dan and everyone else to see if it makes any sense. But still, this is where all the action's happening in the county. I know you got great success going on in every one of your communities. So I do think this is a statewide opportunity. Or opportunities that will come. This year, we're not seeing a ton of economic development things, but it's also election year. So with that being said, I did hand out a little thing here you can look at on your own time, but we did have a couple calls with Adam and Dan, said, hey, did you see this? And you saw it, probably that sewer bill in United Cities, the liability. It's basically Moser, Senator Moser had somebody complaining, but you never know. Some of those things get legs, and then they had that SID bill. It's kind of like a mini SID bill for cities for infrastructure that I think Jacobson put in. Has a lot of work to do, but you know, maybe that could be tweaked a little bit somehow or another. I mean, I think we could do all those things anyway, but just for more rural stuff. But you never know, you know, adding a line here or something there and just see what's out there. So that's what we're doing, just exploring, kicking tires and doing things like that. So, but I really appreciate the opportunity to do this. If it doesn't make sense down the road here and we're just not kicking tires or getting nothing going, then we're getting nothing going. But I still think there's opportunities to get you some funds to keep coming to build the county. So
Appreciate your honesty, Tim.
Yep. All right, thank you.
I have nothing further, sir. Sirs?
Questions?
I'd make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion by La Vista and a second by Springfield. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Yay, 6, motion carried.
Okay, item 8 is Resolution 5, approving and authorizing the execution of Amendment Number 1 to the WIFIA loan agreement. Dan?
I'll just submit on all the pleas and briefs I provided over the last 2 years and answer any questions.
Any questions for Dan?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion by Papillion, and second by Bellevue. Any further comments? Please vote.
Yay, 6, motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 9 is Resolution 6, granting a boundary change request under the agency's growth management plan. Jeff?
Chairman Kelly, Agency Member Bears, Jeff Thompson, Project Engineer for the agency. This request is actually a growth zone boundary request that came in from the city of Springfield. There's about 37.5 acres that are located on the northwest corner of Flug Road and 132nd Street and Flug Road. The developer would like to turn that into 94 residential lots. Right now, the growth zone boundary line bisects that track about a quarter of the way along the north property line. This request is to pull the entire property into the UDZ so that it's immediately ready for development. It would allow the development and developer to pay the agency connection fees, one half at the time of the plat and the other half at the time of the building permit. I guess I don't have much more to add other than that, but happy to answer any questions that you might have regarding the development.
Questions for Jeff? Motion?
So moved.
Oh,
Second.
Okay, motion by La Vista, second by Gretna, to approve the boundary change request. Any further comments? Please vote.
yay, 6, motion carried.
Okay, last item on the agenda is item 10, Resolution 7, granting a growth management plan exception for Lot 1, Wimhoff Second Edition, Sarpy County, Nebraska. Jeff Thompson, project engineer.
Chairman Kelly, agency member mayors, again, Jeff Thompson, project engineer for the agency. This request is an exception request that came in from Sarpy County for a roughly 10-acre tract that was previously platted prior to the incorporation of the agency. The plat was approved by the county in 2015. The current property owner would like to add an accessory use building, basically just an outbuilding shed to that agricultural use property, along with a septic system for a single restroom located within that facility. The agency staff didn't find any exceptions associated with that and would support that. Because it was platted prior to the agency's inception, we are suggesting that the fees not be paid for that per the terms of our current growth management plan. So happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions for Jeff? Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Papillion and a second by Bellevue. Any further comments? Please vote.
Yay, 6, motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, our next meeting is going to be March 25th, 2026, and all the agenda items have been addressed as published in the Sarpy County and Cities Wastewater Agency Board is adjourned.